Hey everyone, welcome again to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to solve a new question from Top Interview 150 question series, and the question is zigzag conversion. So let's jump to the question and understand what we have to do. So it has been given a string which is given that it is written in a zigzag pattern. That means in this here, if you read it in a zigzag way, that means if you start from the top and move down, then again if you move to the top, then again down, then you are going to get this string. Here, like if you move P A Y, then again P A G L I S H I R I N G, then you get this string. Now, what it is asking is that you have to return it in a sequence. That means if you start from the first row, then second row, then third row. That is PAHNAPLSIIGYIR. Now the question has a function convert which consists of two parameters. First is a string s and second is number. The string s is a string and the number signifies that in how many rows it has been distributed in zigzag pattern. So let's understand this question and see how we can solve this. So I'm going to take example to make you understand how you can solve this question. So here let's understand this by example. So I'm taking A, B, C, D. So I'm taking the rows equals to 4. So here it is, you are seeing that the row equals to 4. Now when you write the next in zigzag pattern, we are going to move to the second last position, second last position row, and you write E, here E. Then again you move to above F, then again G, then down I H I J, then again K L M, then down N O P. So this is the pattern which has been shown in this example. Now how it is zigzag, you can see that it is here zigzag pattern. That means you will start reading from the top, then according to this line you will read this, and then you will get the sequence of a string from A to P. Now what it is asking is to return you the number, this a string in a sequence of row. That means you first row, write this first row, then second, then third, then fourth. So you can see the answer is going to be AGMPFHLNCEIKODJP. So this is the answer what it needs. Now what we have to do is that we have to get these rows because it is simply asking this only. So if you get this row one by one, then you can simply concatenate these rows and find the answer. So how we are going to do, let's understand. So what we can do, we can store the rows in a string. So we can take a vector which has a type of a string, and we will traverse in this given zigzag pattern, and we store one by one the values in each string at each row, it in each row. By filling all the strings present in our vector, we are going to concatenate it. Now let's understand how we can do by coding it. So let's code this question. So as decided, we are going to take a vector which is have type string, and which is going to be of size number. And why is that? Because we have to get strings equals to number of rows present. So we are taking its size is going to be numbers. Now let's initialize it with a empty string. Now when what we have to do, we have to traverse in this zigzag pattern. So there are some parameter which we are going to need to traverse in this. So we are going to take a first parameter which is going to be our pointer, which is going to point the number of row in which we are at. So first take it as 0, that means we are at the first row. So now again we take a bool which is going to be a flag, and we are going to take it true. And what it is going to denote is that if it is true, that means we have to move down, and if we make it false, that means we are going to move up. Now we have got the parameters which is going to address our problems, because we have addressed our rows and the direction in which we are moving. Now let's write the for loop. So for int I equals to 0, I less than s dot length. So we are traversing in this string. Now again, now what we have to do finally, so we have to store these values in the respective string in this vector. So what we have to do is that we have to take a v, and in which string we have to concatenate. So first we are at the first row that it is denoting by P is going to be concatenated by P VP plus equals to element or character present at SI. Now this is the what we have to do. Now how we are going to move to the next one. So first we are going to check if our bool is equals to true. If it is true, that means we have to move down. That means we are going to do P plus plus because we have to move down. So when we have P0, we do P plus plus. We move to the next row, which is equals to 1. That means we are moving in vector. Now in else part, when it is false, what we are going to do? We are going to do P minus minus. Now this is done for movement. Now one thing we have to see, that one thing we have to change is that we have also changed the bool value, which is F. Sorry, it is F. So we have to change the F value. And how we is going to check is that we are going to first check if our P is equals to which is equals to number minus 1. That means we are at the last row. So if we are at the last row, what we have to do? We have to change our F to false. In opposite of that, if you are at 0, that means you move to the 0th row. Now again we have to change it. So we are going to again check. If our P is equals to 0, then simply what we can do? We can do F equals to true. So this is going to do the overall work. Now simply we have to again take a string which is going to store our answer. Let's take it ans equals to, let's initialize at empty string. Now again we run a for loop, and we are going to run this for loop now in our number. That means I less than number, because we are going to concatenate it. We have got our strings. Now again I plus plus. Now what we have to do? We have to do ans plus equals to which value? Vector value, which is going to be vi. So we are going to concatenate all these vector strings. Now at last we have to return which value? Ans. So one thing which we have to do, we have to do simply if our numbers is equals to 1. So if it is equals to 1, then we do not need to do anything because it is already our answer. So we direct return yes. So let's run this code. So this is accepted. Now let's try to submit this code. So it is successfully submitted. So this is the question for today, and it is an interesting question. So thank you all.